This stream is proudly supported by the Institute's national corporate partners, BlueScope, Dulux, Brickworks, Bondor, Lysart, Fielders, Bosch, Built Environment Channel, NBS, Planned Cover, Architecture Media, and the Queensland major state partner, Hutchinson Builders.
Well, good evening and welcome to the 2021 Far North Queensland Regional Architecture Awards. I'm Viv O'Connell and it's my pleasure to be hosting these awards tonight, not only for the Institute's members who are celebrating right now at Crystal Brook Bailey in Cairns, but to everyone joining us, wherever you may be. I hope you all enjoy your night. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of country throughout Queensland and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and community. In particular, I'd like to acknowledge the Irukandji and Yidinji people of Far North Queensland's region, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the memories, the traditions, the culture and hopes of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples across the nation. Well, tonight's awards are part of the Australian Institute of Architects' prestigious National Awards program. Each of the regional commendation recipients announced tonight will progress through to the Queensland State Awards shortlist, so best of luck to you all. I'd like to thank the Institute's national corporate partners, including principal partner BlueScope, for their support of the awards program across the country. And I'd also like to give a special thanks to the Queensland chapter major sponsor Hutchinson Builders and also the local partners, Cairns Regional Council, STP Consultants, All Construction Approvals, Target Australia and Lysart NQNT. And now to set the scene, I'd like to hand over to the Institute's National President, Alice Hampson.
Awards celebrate professional excellence, but they're also deeply embedded in the profession's concern for the public interest, showcasing what we proffer to individuals, communities, businesses, governments and our shared futures. Spaces and places imbued with greater beauty, amenity and humane qualities perspicuously improve our cities, towns, rural landscapes and most importantly, improve lives. Collectively, the awarded works tonight exhibit the richness, intelligence, visceral qualities, complexity, individuality and the delight of regional architecture. Queensland is a vast place, the world's sixth largest subnational polity. If it were an island, it would be the world's second largest behind Greenland. As an independent nation, it would be amongst the world's 20th largest in geographical area. Bigger than the whole of South Africa, bigger than any US state, bigger than any Canadian province. Its borders could accommodate all of France, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, Austria and Poland. Queensland is staggering not just for its sheer size, but for its decentralisation, the only mainland state where over half the population live outside the capital. It boasts 1/3 of Australia's 30 most populous cities, including the largest city located in the northern half of Australia's continental landmass, that's Townsville, and Australia's largest inland city apart from Canberra, that's Toowoomba. It includes the two largest tropical cities in Australia, Townsville and Cairns, each of them outsizing their nearest rival, Darwin. The state's capital and its largest city, Brisbane, is located in the lower extreme right-hand corner. Other state capitals tend to be situated roughly at the midpoint of their state's maritime edges, but Brisbane is situated within the first 100 kilometres of a coastline which stretches for another staggering 6,300 kilometres. Brisbane is closer to Canberra than Townsville, closer to Melbourne than Cairns, closer to Adelaide than Normanton, closer to Hobart than Thursday Island. These unique features of Queensland's geography combine with an unmatched beauty and diversity of terrain and climate to create an architectural canvas which exists nowhere else in the world. For our Institute's Architecture Awards, Queensland is apportioned into 7 regions: Far North Queensland, North Queensland, Central Queensland, Darling Downs, West Moreton, Gold Coast, Northern Rivers, Sunshine Coast and Brisbane. Queensland's regional awards have been prospering vigorously since inception over 35 years ago and holds the highest reputation within each and every region with architects, industry, governments, media, community, sponsors and clients. I'd like to wish all the entrants every success in tonight's awards. Thank you.
Thanks, Alice. And with a message for all of tonight's entrants, the Queensland Chapter President, Michael Lavery, has sent through this message.
This year, I have a very simple message. I want to thank all of our clients. By making the commitment to work with an architect, you have made yourselves our greatest advocates. I hope you feel like you've already been rewarded by our knowledge and skills in delivering more than you expected. And to our entrants, congratulations in advance. I look forward to seeing all of the awarded projects at the State Awards in June. But for now, let's celebrate the regions.
Thanks, Michael. Well, as Alice mentioned, Queensland covers a vast area, and a team of 65 jurors were involved in the Regional Awards judging process this year, visiting every project that was entered. So to tell us a little bit about the deliberations across all the regions, I'd like to hand over to the Queensland Chair of Juries, Eloise Atkinson.
Thanks, Viv, and thank you everyone for joining us. The role of Chair of Duties this year has certainly been a different experience to 2020. Last year, when I had the pleasure of being Deputy to Richard Colson, we were judging projects on Zoom with all entrants working hard to explain the quality of light and space of their projects while we sat at home trying to imagine. This year we've had the opportunity to visit projects as far north as Cairns, as far west as Winton, and as you all know, there's no substitute for experiencing architecture. In our conversations with regional juries, there have been a few common themes. Perhaps the most significant is the commitment of doing more with less. Sometimes this has been out of necessity, but even with the projects with the healthy budget, there have been conversations with clients about just building what's needed. We've also seen across all categories the embracing of vegetation and landscape. There have been incredibly lush green environments integrated into commercial, education and public projects, as well as the houses. Perhaps some of this attention on landscape and vegetation is a response to COVID. The rethinking of the relationship between home and work has been amplified, with all residential projects considering the reality of how to accommodate whole households working from home. And perhaps more surprisingly, all commercial projects have been looking at how to bring the pleasures of working at home to the office. The calibre of the 107 projects is impressive. However, the number of projects entered has been slowly decreasing over the last 5 years, which is disappointing. Hopefully this is a reflection on the fact that many of the practices are very busy and haven't had enough time to enter their projects, rather than a trend reflecting the lack of projects being funded, particularly in the public sphere. Every visit has reminded me of the importance of good design and the value that architects can bring, particularly to tricky sites and complex briefs across all project types. The passion to achieve the best outcome for clients and the collegiality among members of the profession has been evident throughout our visits. Our unique awards program only exists because our colleagues are prepared to take time out of their practices and away from their projects to take part in the juries. It is an incredibly rewarding experience, meeting colleagues, discussing design ideas and processes, and having robust deliberations with the jury. But it also does take time. So on behalf of the entrants and the profession, I'd like to thank all of those who put their hands up, some year after year, to take part. And of course the awards can only happen because our members participate and value the process and opinions of their peers. So can I say thank you to all the architectural practices for taking the time to submit their entries and for meeting with the juries. Good luck to each and every one of you and enjoy the night.
Thanks, Eloise. And now to say a few words and introduce tonight's nominees, I'd like to hand over to the Far North Queensland Jury Chair, Roger Mainwood, who is joined by fellow jurors Leah Horstman, Andrew Lane and Alana Coburn. Over to you, Roger.
I'm really pleased to be here this evening. I'm also representing my role as chairs of the Regional Committees Group. Unique to Queensland is the fact that the Regional Awards program is split across the entire state, with 7 different regions that go across the state. It creates a really great outcome for the awards program and includes the diversity across the state. Speaking regionally, last year was a pretty strange year, and the strangeness seems to be continuing in this year, unfortunately. But a really good outcome from last year is the digitalisation of the awards process. This piece of program that we're creating out of this session is really useful for ongoing advocacy. And speaking on behalf of all the regions, I'm sure we're all pleased to have it as a tool in communications. Joining me this year as jurors were Alana Coburn and Andrew Lane, who are principals of their own practices in Cairns. And representing industry was Leah Horstman, publisher of the magazine Tropic Now. Tropic Now is a really good friend of the Institute of Architects, always supporting good planning outcomes and design. Another part of the Regional Awards program is the fact that we get to have the state jurors visit each of the regions. And that's really valuable, both for the local members and for participating in this diverse program. So I'd really like to thank Eloise Atkinson and Shire Tay for visiting all of the regions and participating in the awards process. And now to that process, the nominations. And I can go and have a drink. Cheers.
Our Lady Help of Christians Catholic Primary School Innovated Learning Centre by Peddle-Thorpe, Far North. JCU Ideas Lab by Wilson Architects with Clark and Prince. Cairns Performing Arts Centre by CA Architects and Cox Architecture in collaboration. Blue Lagoon Residence by CA Architects. And Big Small House by POD, People-Oriented Design. Well, a great range of entrants. And now let's take a look at the regional commendations for Far North Queensland, all of which are going through to the State Awards shortlist. In the category of Educational Architecture, the jury have awarded a commendation to Our Lady Help of Christians Catholic Primary School Innovated Learning Centre by Peddle-Thorpe, Far North. Within the grounds of this growing school, the architects engaged closely with the school's leadership group to deliver flexible, collaborative Year 5 and 6 learning spaces over 2.5 levels. Opportunities are taken to treat tiered seating and travel space as collaborative learning commons, encouraging students and teachers to engage and interact in a variety of learning experiences. Also in the category of Educational Architecture, the jury has awarded a commendation to JCU Ideas Lab by Wilson Architects with Clark and Prince. Folded forms present an immediate sense of the building's purpose, a starting point for possibility and creation, where the flow of light and energy from the tropical surroundings ignites potential in its occupants. Collaborative spaces connected by a geometric staircase and verandas gives a nod to the building's Queensland heritage, and the jury described this project as more than contemporary sustainable design, but rather a state of mind. And in the category of Public Architecture, the jury have awarded a commendation to Cairns Performing Arts Centre by CA Architects and Cox Architecture in collaboration. The jury describes CPAC and associated Munro Martin Parklands as setting a benchmark in regional performing arts space. This significant civic cultural asset offers flexible staging and presentation configurations with state-of-the-art back-of-house and technical capabilities. A beautiful project, both inside and out. And in the category of residential architecture houses new, a commendation is awarded to Big Small House by POD, People Oriented Design. This project presents big ideas on living sustainably and economically in the tropics, challenging suburban ideals for family living by reducing the building footprint and rejecting unnecessary segregation and ostentatious materials. An open living and gallery space, passive cooling and thoughtful detailing of raw materials create a light and airy place for family life and work that allows occupants to connect with and enjoy their surrounding natural environment. And the final commendation, also in the category of residential architecture houses new, goes to Blue Lagoon Residence by CA Architects. The simple double pavilion design delineates public from private and blurs indoor and outdoor, delivering an elegant, well-executed tropical design response. Large operable glass facades, protected by deep overhangs, capture breezes channeled through a vine-shaded courtyard, adding to the tropical lifestyle. Congratulations to all the commendation recipients. And now to the award announcements, beginning with the Sustainable Architecture category. The first award for Sustainable Architecture goes to Big Small House by POD, People Oriented Design. Celebrating its connection to the natural environment of the wet tropics, this project embraces sustainability in its layout, material selection, detailing and technology. It contains many of the elements of traditional, lightweight tropical houses from the 1930s to 70s in Queensland and the Northern Territory, but in a new, modern form. Congratulations, POD, People Oriented Design. The second award for Sustainable Architecture goes to JCU Ideas Lab by Wilson Architects with Clark and Prince. The folded building form explores the idea that through people and process, the prosaic and simple can be transformed into something unique and beautiful. The result is a playful, dynamic building envelope that gives the Ideas Lab a presence in the landscape, while at the same time moderating heat and glare and maximising natural light to the workplaces within. Congratulations to Wilson Architects with Clark and Prince. And now to the Regional Project of the Year prize, which goes to Big Small House by POD, People Oriented Design. This project connects the living, kitchen, dining space directly to the tropical native and food garden, while generous eaves and overhangs provide climatic protection and maximise natural ventilation. Big Small House interprets traditional elements such as verandas and stairs in a contemporary form and provides a series of spaces that are open, light and delightful. Congratulations once again to the team at POD, People Oriented Design. Congratulations once again to POD. And the next announcement is the Far North Queensland House of the Year, which is Blue Lagoon Residence by CA Architects. Set into the suburban context of Trinity Beach, the residence is carefully sited to take advantage of the views and the southeasterly breezes from across the lagoon. This work responds to the tropical conditions of Far North Queensland, open and connected to the environment, with materials chosen for their high durability and strength. Congratulations, CA Architects. Congratulations to the team at CA Architects. And now for the final award of the night and the highest honour in the Far North Queensland Regional Architecture Awards, the Eddie Orban Award for Building of the Year, which goes to Cairns Performing Arts Centre by CA Architects and Cox Architecture in collaboration. Part of a cultural precinct within Munro Martin Parklands, this project delivers a main proscenium arch theatre of 950 seats and a 400-seat flexible studio and an external performance amphitheatre with a capacity of 3,000. This is an intensely tropical response with cloaking landscape, filtered sunscreen and lofty public space, opening to both inside and out, while the fly towers and theatres are clad in a palette of cloud-like colours, always reflecting the changing skies. The jury applauds this key new civic offering for the culturally rich city of Cairns, which responds to the city's dramatic tropical setting. Congratulations to CA Architects and Cox Architecture in collaboration. Well, that brings us to the end of the Far North Queensland award announcements. I'd like to thank the jurors once again for all of their efforts. Eloise Atkinson, the Chair of Juries, Shai Tay, the Deputy Chair of Juries, Roger Mainwood, the Far North Queensland Jury Chair, Leah Horstman, Alana Coburn and Andrew Lane. And congratulations again to the award winners tonight and to the shortlisted projects that now progress through to the Queensland State Awards. And we'll be streaming those announcements live with live crosses to the winners on the 24th of June. I'd like to thank the Institute's national corporate partners, including principal partner BlueScope, and the Queensland chapter major sponsor, Hutchinson Builders. And a special thanks to the local partners, Cairns Regional Council, STP Consultants, All Construction Approvals, Target Australia and Lysart NQNT. To the members watching in Cairns right now, I hope the celebrations continue well into the night. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure to be your host. Good night.
This stream is proudly supported by the Institute's national corporate partners, BlueScope, Dulux, Brickworks, Bondor, Lysart, Fielders, Bosch, Built Environment Channel, NBS, Planned Cover, Architecture Media, and the Queensland major state partner, Hutchinson Builders.